Dear friends, I'm glad to meet you all on Feygin Live. It is 10 p.m., Wednesday, the 18th of May, and it is day 84 of this war. We are doing stream with Olexiy Arestovych. Glad to see you, Olexiy. Likewise. Good evening, everybody. We have 110,000 people watching us live. As usual, I would ask you to please share the links to that cast on your social media, Instagram, Telegram, Twitter, everywhere. Also, leave your likes. This is the only way to promote it with YouTube algorithms. If you are watching that in English, please subscribe to Privateer Station and do likewise. Leave a like and subscribe. It appears that most viewers turn into frequent visitors and become, I wouldn't say addicted, but watch us daily, so please subscribe. That makes it easier. Also, there will be more casts during this week. We are planning several special guests with Olexiy, and we'll do the usual ones at 10, but before that we will have some guests, including the ones whom we could not invite earlier. This will happen this week, so please watch our announcements on YouTube and keep following us. Okay, let's go to today. Olexiy, what is happening on the east? Do you mind if we start with the map? We'll bring it on the screen. Okay, this is the map of the Institute of War. It's American. And it's pretty self-explanatory. Hang on, I'm waiting for it to show on my screen. So far, our dialogue reminds me of a cartoon, The Mystery of a Third Planet. What bad news do we have? We don't have bad, we have good. By the way, the circles are in the right places. These are the places where criminal Russian army is advancing our positions. Rubezhne is not exactly ours. They moved a little. Popasna, they're advancing to the west and to the east, towards Liman. Yes, that's a good circle. And also a little bit to the left of Liman, till about 11 o'clock. They're also treacherously advancing on our glorious positions. Anything in Izum? Yes, there is definitely some movement near Izum. They're stretching their tentacles down south. But there is a nuance here. The thing is that we're also counterattacking there. It's a very unusual situation, and if you think as civilians who are not well trained in military questions, they hear enemies advancing and you need to do something about it. It is scary. Probably everything is bad. On the other hand, we are also advancing. And about 3 weeks ago, about 24th of April, oh, I just unlocked a new level. I'm not only promising 2-3 weeks forward, I've just looked 2-3 weeks backward. So when they've been attacking about in April, and that story lasted for over a month, and we did not even dream about counteroffensive, and now we are. So you see how the fingers go? That's the way the attacks are going in that region. What happens is that both armies are trying to advance in certain parts, and they're fighting for a system of roads, for certain fortified or easy to fortify locations. And the fact is that we are doing some counter actions. We are attacking them too, even at the most difficult segments of the front, it actually shows that the whole flow of this operation, both on Russian side and on our side, has changed drastically. Trying to respond. We were just defending. We were just dreaming not to get hit by the artillery or missiles, aviation, and we had a ratio of about 1 to 5. But here we already are doing counter actions. That means their reserves are depleted, and we are still restocking our troops. And to sum it up, I would say the character of this operation changed. And of course, they found some relatively fresh troops to throw them here, especially near Severodonetsk and Popasная, but we are counterattacking them. We're taking and gaining certain goals, and the character of this operation changed, not in favor of enemy. It is not an easy fight, for sure, but it is changing. So we'll see what happens, but despite of all the difficulty of that situation, it is slowly being changed and pushed in our favor. So we did not bring the yesterday's map, Kharkiv direction and near Izum. What is the perspective in general? Is there a chance to cut their tentacles? Well, the order is very simple. First, military have to speak, and then we comment on what they say. They got the rights to do that, and we can comment either their statements or officially or publicly released statements in mass media. So until we hear that, we cannot comment about any successes in that area until we see their statements. We can refer to the open sources that are trying to draw some arrows there, but this is unofficial. What's happening to the south? A little north of Avdiivka, they're trying to advance. And evil tongues are saying that they actually managed to gain a little bit in that part of the front. They gathered the last resources they had, and they're throwing everything at it, trying to get it. You know, it looks like wave after wave, so it makes it difficult for our troops because they're also tired. Some people are there since December without rotation, some brigades, so it is difficult for them. And since February 24th, they've been non-stop fighting. So this is definitely not an easy situation for them. It is very difficult to live under the ongoing relentless attacks of the enemy that has a much higher ratio. But they do need to hold a little. We're almost there. How long? Please elaborate on that. Maybe a week or two. And what's going to happen? Oh, they'll exhaust themselves. They'll just die out, the Russian side. Whatever they're throwing now, if it is not their last reserve, they're one before last of what they have. From relatively good and battle-worthy troops. We're not even talking about reserves. Those would be eliminated very fast in this locale. So they tried to push near Orekhova towards Gulyai-Polye, the whole tank battalion, and they were happily to attack, but we caught them in a sack and got them pretty well with artillery. So now there are duels there, and our groups are actually smart, experienced ones who are trying to figure out good ways to destroy these enemy forces. That war is turning into the war of quadricopters, unmanned aerial vehicles, and artillery, being coordinated by aerial. And this is where essentially we see the art of war, because statistically the amount of our troops is much less than nominal to hold them, to hold their advance. But the way our troops are fighting is actually holding them pretty well. And right before Russian troops are getting ready to attack and advance, our guys find a way to call them with fuel or restocking ammunition and turn their tanks into the piles of metal sitting and doing nothing. So near Kherson, yeah, they're also trying to move, but they're not advancing anywhere. They're moving to the left and to the right, trying to avoid our artillery. So there is no attack threat there. Near Melitopol, we managed to blow up the armored train. Wait a second, armored train? Russia has armored trains? When I heard some news, I thought it's fake. I thought, what kind of armored train in the 21st century? Oh yeah, there was one going from Crimea to Kherson and from there to Melitopol. So partisans got it. They blew up the tracks in front of it. They also, according to some data, killed a couple of high-ranked military officers during that operation, and they're also throwing a lot of leaflets in Melitopol and Kherson that basically shows that partisan movement in that area where people said it could not exist because of the geography. It exists and it's very successful. So, yeah, armored train. Should we expect cavalry next? Yeah, you're right. This whole war operation in the south, very much reminiscent of the Civil War of 1918, 1920 in the south. And everything up north, very reminiscent of the Second World War, in the exact same spots. And it's really a strategy and geography. If, God forbid, there'll be more fights with robots and drones in the same area, 200 years from now, they'll likely be fighting in the same spots. So, on the fronts, stable, difficult situation. And about the Snake Island, different pieces of data are floating around. One of it says that Russian troops are trying to bring some artillery, some heavy equipment. Yeah, we sunk one of the boats near the island. They tried to lift it, and we damaged that boat that they used. Then they tried to blow up the remnants of it to pull them away from the dock, so they could dock new ships there and unload more armor and equipment, but they're failing. And it's a difficult task because our aviation and our artillery are reaching the island, and our UAVs are reaching it too. So on that island, anybody exists full-time? Yeah, there is a small Russian garrison there now. How big is it? Several dozen. And what's the point? Because it's easy to shoot at them. I think Russian command is trying to make a new Chernobyl out of this island. This is pretty close to the shore, so you can hit it with pretty much anything. Not with anything, but we have equipment that can reach them there. And we have some videos and to prove that we do it, and the sunken boat near the dock. So wait, why would they need the Snake Island? To further push attack on Odessa? So one can say that since we sunk Moscow, and Moscow was in a way anti-aircraft cover for the fleet, so if they establish such a service from this island, they can still provide that umbrella for their fleet and maybe try to push something towards Odessa, but it's insanity to try to do that. Why is it insanity? Because you cannot really descend in Odessa. It is very well protected. They tried already, and it ended with a lot of dead bodies on the Odessa beaches. Because nobody is insane to deploy troops and Marines under the constant bombardment of artillery, planes, and city defenders. So the only way would be to have several times more troops than the defenders, but that's unrealistic. So that's Odessa. And if you look further at Transnistria, it is more questionable because it's much further leg, and they'll have to follow the shore within the reach of our artillery and our aviation. So the destiny of Caesar Kunikov, Saratov, Moscow, I think it taught them that this is a really bad idea to transport the ships there. And although, you can expect different crazy things from Russian captains. So is there a reason to free Snake Island now? I would just keep shooting at it. I would keep hitting with artillery and aviation. Why do we need it? It's a good place to lure their troops and destroy them. Because if we take it, then the situation changes in a mirror way. Then Russian artillery and Russian planes can reach it, and then they destroy us. So there's really no point. All right, 16 minutes we're live. We have 415,000 people watching us live. How one guy, I think his last name is Barvinek, is making skits about us. He likes to say that there's 1 billion of unborn kids watching us. So, well, hello to Barvinek. Regardless, those who are watching us live, please do not forget to share the link to that cast and leave your like. That matters. Your voice does matter. So we can spread the message further. Let's go to other questions. You probably heard that Turkey, it is not confirmed yet. NATO is not officially confirming that Turkey has blocked Sweden and Finland from joining NATO. So, block is too strong of a word, but they're doing some activity that muddies the waters and slows down the process. So, Turkey apparently is solving their internal matters, and here is the matter of the European defense. So I wanted to talk to you about that subject. What do you think about it? Yeah, Turkey is fighting with Kurds and also Galenists, so they got two opposition forces there. I think Turkish government is using an opportunity to push certain things through. When they were admitting Baltic countries, Turkey did the same. According to some information from the close sources, they requested to have access to F-35s so they can use them against their opposition, which they were denied after they bought S-300 systems from Russia. And I think that Turkey eventually will get what they want, and this matter will be closed. But there is another concern that now the president of Horvatia came over and said that he is also against Sweden and Finland. So I keep wondering, of course, Turks are not pro-Moscow, they defend their own interests, but these other guys who pretend to be pro-Russia, what are they counting on? I think it's just money. They just want to get more money. Yeah, looks like they need a little more resource to finish that dacha or villa outside the city. And this is on the background that EU and Germany will be voting to sanction Schroeder. Germany is going to cancel his life pension after his chancellor position because of his pro-Putin stance and support. You know, Schroeder is a funny guy. He was married 5 times. Well, don't joke here. I was married a couple times too, so... You know, he's weird though. He had a Chinese... And I think he's a rich guy in general. He can afford adventures. He's probably getting enough money as the head of the director's council of one of the Russian oil companies. I heard he's only getting about 50,000 a year. Well, that's only official salary. There probably is more. I would suspect there is way more. You never know. Maybe that's all he's getting. Well, I'm just saying that if you are doing these shady things, at least I think he's getting more money than that. But ultimately, I think all these issues will be overcome. Although there are different voices, some now saying that let's kick Turkey. So I think they'll overcome these matters. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Hungary, Turkey, they're being difficult. But they'll find...
Но здесь как бы надо сильно думать им, до какой степени выставлять требования и где останавливаться.
Some common ground there. I think Turkey will get their F-35s and they'll win over their opposition. I suspect they will be talked into that agreement because the cost of that agreement is really high. Also, tonight, Senate in the United States is going to vote for that 40 billion support package to us. Do you think they will vote? I hope they will, yeah, I think they will. Well, despite of all the propagandist efforts that we've seen that this should not happen. That's the thing. Democracy is democracy, but when one person throws himself as a wrench into the wheel of some serious and global processes where United States have possibly a key interest, that is no bueno situation. Also, American embassy started working full-time in Kiev, and Blinken issued a statement that America, what's that Russian word for that? Unconditionally supports Ukraine. And forever and love and all that. I think this is also a signal that Senate voting will be all right. Usually people do not throw these statements easily, lightly, so it's probably a signal that it'll be okay. We'll see. We are live for 22 minutes. I have a little more time. Tell me more. Oh, no. Before we go into armaments, let's continue with the international things. There was a statement by Moldova President Sandu. She offered Russian Federation to withdraw their peacemakers from Transnistria. Has she done this statement before? Yeah, she made it before, and she's back at it again. And the comments basically were targeting Russia, saying that Kremlin is so weak that even countries that are dependent on their gas and oil are not shy to ask them to withdraw their troops. So this is a good signal, generally speaking. Let's not go too deep into Moldova, but in general, that statement on the level of a president, this is a pretty strong step, given that Moldova has a very strong pro-Russian opposition. So what is being expected of a politician to take a position? So she took her position. And yeah, I need to mention, though, that after being elected, she did say something to that effect. Problem is they don't have an army. That's a really big problem. These demands are usually good to be supported with some force. That's true, but they also have a law that allows non-citizens to fight for Moldova. She did not take this law, right? It was not her work. Oh, I think it is a recent one. So she somehow participated in it. All right, we're not focused on Moldova. There's more stuff happening there without us. I hope it goes to something that can help our situation. I'm reading more questions in chat to see what they're asking. Summing some of them up, and I want to say, Mariupol we're not touching today. We don't want to harm negotiations, because we talk here for a little bit, and then, we have 470,000 people watching us live. I'm sure there are some from Kremlin, and they'd be glad to use some of our words against situation in Mariupol, so we'd rather not touch that and wait for the official statements and some conclusion. We'll know everything in details,
Я
right,
думаю, что мы
Olexiy?
узнаем, когда
Yes, I think we
начнем
shall.
говорить. Вот мне прислали сообщение,
I
что
just got a
голосование
message
будет не
that
завтра.
the
В
voting in
Штатах будет
Senate
еще 18
was
Да, в Штатах будет еще 18 число, получается, да, но у нас уже завтра.
moved to tomorrow.
Проголосуем.
Actually, in the States, it will be tomorrow
Поправки
in
там.
Ну вот
Ukraine.
ты еще раз по оружию. Изменилось ли твое мнение
So,
относительно
if they vote
сроков,
tomorrow,
если
do you
завтра
think
проголосуют,
the Lend-Lease
поставок,
support that
которые
America
могут
is providing
изменить картину
gonna happen soon, or
театра
what's the
военных
pace of
действий,
that?
вот, который
When
есть на
will it get
Востоке,
in the
где
East?
острый момент?
Не
That
сыграет
voting
никакого рояля. Американцы, опять же, по открытому
should
источнику
not
заявили,
matter
что
too
темпы
much
перевода
if they
не
delay a
впечатляющие.
little,
Поставок оружия
because
для
even
в
now
августе
they're
стали
already
заметно росли.
supplying
Ну,
very
они
impressively. They
Да, они
recently
стреляют.
delivered
По
about 90
его желанию,
howitzers,
пока
and
еще
they're
не
all on the
стреляли. В
front
Белом
now.
доме только что заявили, что не видят
In the
признаков того, что
meantime,
Китай
we
оказывает
observe that
поддержку
China is
России
not
материальную
supporting Russia
не видят.
in
не
any
видят. То есть это
noticeable
еще
way in relation to this war. So
еще одно
that's another
подтверждение, что как бы
note that there is no support from China.
нету поддержки.
They can
Кубу
ask
можно разговаривать, а
Cuba to
Китай не
sell them
спешит.
some missiles, but China is not in a hurry.
Скажи нам,
Tell
есть ли
me, any
какие-то
news about
новости
Medvedchuk?
относительно Медведчука? Может, что-то в офисе обсуждать? Может, он раскололся?
Did
Может,
he
он начал
start
давать показания,
giving
закладывать?
intel?
Тайна следствия.
No, this is
Это
still
даже
in the
кто-то
mystery
просто
of
не сообщил,
investigation,
я бы не сообщил.
the secrecy of investigation.
Но проблема в том, что не
I'm
проблема,
sure
точнее, я уверен, что следственное
the investigative body will make statements when they can,
разузнавательное дело с
and
дополнительными
for now they're
подозрениями.
still
Не
working that
только.
case.
Только не
So, you
промолчат,
know, we're
скажут,
democracy,
что
they will not be silent, they will
по
speak
логике.
up when that is
Тут же
concluded.
когда это все
We
закончится,
just don't know when it happens.
неизвестно.
Есть еще вот такой вопрос.
All right, there is another
Мне тут
question.
написали в почте, что в районе Северодонецка
In
непростая
the
ситуация.
email I got that near Severodonetsk, the situation is really difficult, and there are some people who are fighting there who were drafted from the repair plants, and their relatives trying to reach them but cannot, so they're requesting some assistance and getting in touch with them. So situation there is difficult. People are writing messages saying, hey, I'm a relative of so-and-so. Hey, how do we know if they are? I don't know, and we don't really give details, right? I'm sure that 90% of these requests are real relatives, but they're asking to give them military secret information. A, we do not have it. B, military are the ones making decisions what to release. Let's send them somewhere. So where should they turn? I think they should turn to the Ministry of Defense, first of all, and secondary to the conscription sites. Yeah, the one that processed them at the area where they lived. Civilians very often do not understand fully what they're asking about. With all the deep respect to their concerns about the lives of their close ones, giving that information is not right during the military times. Near Severodonetsk situation is really hard, and overwhelming enemy troops are trying to kick our troops from their defensive positions. So it is military secrecy where their detachments are, where exactly they are located. This is a secret. This is prohibited, and during the war times there is a criminal responsibility for disclosing that data. So military authorities will not be able to tell much. In any case, at least we sent them to start digging in the right direction with questions, because I do not have that data, and there's no way I can help. Same thing, I'm getting about tens of them per day. I usually do not respond to these because if I don't know who the person is, I shouldn't, and if I do, then it still goes into the military secrecy, and they need to turn to the officials directly. Because they're asking me to disclose information that I don't have, that I cannot disclose if I had, and I cannot also vet if they're real relatives or if it is a provocation. So Here is the logical military times. I read the note and I send them to the proper military bodies. Even there, they shouldn't be too hopeful to get that data, but at least you can request and see if maybe somebody will respond to location, quantities, maneuvers. That data is not to be disclosed. And people can say that everybody knows, but no, these are rumors, what they know. This is not the actual military data. And military are in no position to confirm or deny these rumors. So one good thing I can say, the signals are being received and they're being transferred, but this is internal communication. Please pay attention to this, pay attention to that. But again, they know that. They know these details anyway. All right, so summing it up, for the information and answers of that kind, some destiny of your close ones, you should turn to conscription sites or to the Ministry of Defense. So these private questions very likely will not get answers from us in our channels. We only discuss public things here that have been publicly disclosed. We're discussing the statements made by the official bodies and official press statements that have been released. We're not news agencies. We are people who share their opinion, and if it's interesting for you, which it seems it is, because we get a couple of people watching us every night, so we can only disclose what we can. And again, another reminder, there is a military law that limits what can be talked, what I can talk about. Second, the status of the advisor to the office of the president also puts some limitations on me. I look human, I try to be human, but I'm not the one making decisions. But I understand by the dynamics of these letters, and if I see that there is no signal, no communication happening or coming from a certain segment of front, I can raise this concern and try to re-establish the comm lines there, or just draw their attention that comm is weak on that part. So please stay in touch and send your signals. We'll try to address them to the right people. All right, we're almost 33 minutes live. Let's give some time, Olexiy, for rest tonight. We're seeing again each other at 10 p.m., hopefully with your audience. And we might have a couple more casts before that tomorrow, so watch our announcements. And there'll be another one on Friday. There'll be a somewhat delay, but it will be. And we'll have some well-known guests who finally can make it to our channel, so subscribe. Also subscribe to Privateer Station. We will try to match our releases with these interviews and their publications. Again, do not forget to like and share. That matters. Olexiy, thanks a lot. See you tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.